motion to open the meeting?
Make a motion to open the meeting?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Please stand for the pledge. Thank you, everyone, and welcome. Tonight we have going to start off with a little fun and entertainment, so I'll turn it over to Superintendent Tony.
Good evening, everyone. We do have a packed agenda tonight, as evidenced by all of you here, but it's a real celebration tonight. So we're going to start our meeting off with a performance by our jazz band under the direction of Rich Williams.
So this is our jazz band. It is by audition only. It's an extracurricular activity. We meet every Tuesday night It's by audition only in October, and that's not meant to exclude. We actually have started a second jazz band. We want to include every month. We also want to give students who want to achieve higher standards the opportunity. So that's why this group exists. This is our first performance. We've been working on our repertoire since we started in October. We have about 15 tunes under our belt. We'll probably have about 30 by the end of the year. Our next, from now on, we'll be performing to the end of the year once every month. In January, we'll be doing swing dance for the community. In February, we have a small ensemble concert on this stage. In March, we'll be doing our annual Pops concert in the gym. In April, we're going to a jazz festival in Sleepy Hollow, which the last time we went was 2019. We're glad it's back, first time since COVID. We do an evening at jazz concert with a whole district jazz band right on the stage in May. And then in June, we'll do a big end of the year concert at a local venue to be determined. We're going to play one more tune, maybe two, but definitely one. And on this one, let's feature, let's use some jazz nicknames. Maxine the Machine Van Nortwick on the trombone.
Such an amazing way to start a meeting. It's amazing every time we watch our students play on stage in front of us. It's such a joy to see some of the students that we've seen from elementary school carrying through to now some of them in their final year at Mahopac. It's such a pleasure. Thank you again to our amazing jazz band. So back to Ms. Tona for some recognition.
Thank you. So we're very fortunate to have staff members that are incredibly dedicated. And there's one individual who's here with us this evening with 49 years of service. And her last day with us is next week as she moves into retirement. So I'd like to invite Mary Ann Ferraro up to the podium and Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, Jennifer Pontillo. So moving on with the celebration this evening, I'd like to invite our Director of Athletics, Health and Physical Education, Steve Luciana, to the podium for the Athletic Awards.
Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Pretty tough act to follow. Somebody here for 49 years and an amazing jazz band. I'm putting in a bad spot right now. Coming to these meetings where we get to honor our athletes and our teams is always special for me. I love when we get to recognize our student athletes for excelling on the field and off the field. And today we get to do a little both. I'm going to start off with a couple of our team awards. Both our volleyball team and our swim team, who is merged with Carmel and Putt Valley, have won their league titles this year. I believe for swim, it's back-to-back years that we've done that. And our swim program keeps growing and getting better every year. It's been awesome to see how much that program has grown over the last few years. And a big part of that is because of our coaches, Erica Berlinski and Emily Fafaro, so I'd like to thank them first. I'd like to call our Mahopac swimmers up to be honored for winning their league. We have Olivia Brady, Natalie Bruno, Allison Calvert, Erica Clavijo, Chloe Forger, Kira Fafaro, Sarah Taylor, Michaela Kunka, Eliza Loftman. Molly McGordy. Megan McGordy. Olivia Monson. Kelly Mora. Kylie Quackenbush. Mia Wrightson. Juliana Scopo. Kelly Summersford. And Stella Cervic. Not only did they win the league, I believe back-to-back years you guys were undefeated as well. So we haven't lost in the pool in 2 years. So this swim program is growing and we're doing great things and I can't wait to see how much better we grow in the future. So congratulations, girls. Next, I'd like to honor our volleyball team. Our volleyball team won their league title this year, and just a little background on their league. We're based off of classifications, and it's done by enrollment. We are a AA volleyball team, but we are in a AAA league. So our league was Arlington, John Jay's, Fishkill, Ketchum, some of the biggest schools in the state. And then league play, we play those schools, and then for sectionals, we move down to play other AA schools. So we're playing outside of our classification. So we're playing much bigger schools in a tough league based on geography. Our volleyball team going against those schools was able to win the league outright, which is not easy to do. And we have all of our teams playing very tough leagues. So to win a league title is very special. So I'd like to honor our varsity volleyball team for winning the league title. I'd like to thank Coach Dave Melville and his assistant, Kristen Diebold. They've done a tremendous job with this program. And I'd like to bring up our team to honor them. Eliana Zito. Olivia Hoyt. Andriana DiVincenzo. Lindsay Lohr. Bella DeChico. Julia Angeloni. Brianna Smith. Yadira Maya. Nadia Stepanek. Maya Redmond. Julia Vitello. Giovanna Angrisani. Fiona O'Boyle. And Emma DeMuro. Congratulations, girls. So our fall season got off to a rough start. We had a lot of weather issues this year with the fall season. That teams were playing 3-4 games in a week towards the end of the season. You know, we had a delay with the turf project, so teams were bouncing from fields. And I've said this, I don't know if anybody came to my parent meeting, the lack of officials that we have and the bus issues. So it took a while to get in the groove of the fall season. And our kids couldn't have handled it any better. A lot of adversity, they handled themselves better than better than some of the adults. They just went out and played and did their thing, and I thought we had a very successful fall season. So it's just a testament to how great our kids here at Mahopac. They're amazing, and I can't say enough about our student athletes here. And I'd like to honor our individuals who won all league, all section, and all state honors throughout the season. We're going to start off with our boys soccer program. We have Alex Ruzza, Shane Waring, and Victor Beltrami. For girls tennis, we had all league Chloe Meyer. For cross country, all league Liam McGuire. For field hockey, we had Erin Harney, all league. Camila Vallejo, field hockey, all league. Anastasia Villani, all league. Danielle Abanez, all league. And now for volleyball. Eliana Zito was all league in all section. Adriana DiFincenzo was all league in all section. Lindsay Law was all league. And Fiona O'Boyle, all league. Both Lindsay and Fiona will be playing college athletics next year. Fiona will be playing basketball at Stevens, and Fiona will be playing volleyball at Utica. So they'll be able to continue their athletic and academic careers. Girls swimming, Molly McGordy, all section, all league, and she qualified for the state tournament and represented Mahopac very well up at states this year. Megan McGordy, all league. Stella Surfsek, all league. And Kira Fafaro, all league. Next, we have our girls soccer program. Juliana Mangione, all league and all section. Years with these girls, I still can't tell them apart. Isabella Fava, all league, and Gianna Fava, all league. Ariana Pinella, all league. And Fiona Kelleher, all league. Next, we have our football program. We have, first off, we have DJ DiMatteo, all league, all section, and he was named outstanding linebacker in Class A, our North League. Danny Koch, all league, all section. Danny will be playing lacrosse next year at St. John's, and DJ is going to play, DJ, I'm drawing a blank real quick. I know baseball, Middlebury, a great academic and baseball school. So once again, our athletes will be doing both, like high academics and athletics at the next level. It's been great watching these guys the last 4 years. John Carney, all league, all conference. Danny Bazio, all league. Nate Masco, all league. Landon Varley, all league. And Owen Ryan, all league. Next up, we have our cheerleaders. So our cheer team, they cheer a lot at our football games in the fall season, do a tremendous job for us, bring a lot of energy. While they're also preparing to cheer for our football team, they're also preparing for their competition season, which they're in now. Last year, they won their national championship. They're going back to Dallas to hopefully come back with another one, and looking forward to seeing how they do in their competition season. So for our cheer team, we have Mia Caldarella, all league, all section. Lila Greco, all league, all section. Juliana Greco, all league, all section. Alexis LeBlanc, all league, all section. Kira McDowell, all league, all section. Brooke Plath, all league, all section. Ariana Canariato, all league. And Isabella Chiotti, all league.
Now the tough part. You're gonna try to get them all in one picture.
Oh, they're athletes, they know how to do it. Junior athletes in the front, dig it in.
Congratulations to all of our students.
We'll just stand up back here. Yeah, that's fine. We should probably stand. Just like right here, right here.
Adam's not gonna show up.
It's a bit easy for you. Yeah, it's just better than that. Just say it.
Okay.
The last thing I'd like to end with athletics. We honored these guys with all league, all sections for their performances on the field. The state recently announced that they're all academic, all scholar athlete teams for the fall season, where 75% of the team has to have a 90 average or higher. Every single one of our varsity teams made the all-scholar team for New York State for this season. So,
Congratulations to our athletes. It's a night of celebration. All the hard work and countless hours of dedication these students put into not only their academics, but their athletics, their music, and all their extracurricular activities. It is such a joy for us as a board to witness this and be a part of it. Thanks. Next up, back to Superintendent Tona for a presentation.
Thank you, President Savino. So tonight we have Dr. Mary Beth Wilson from the Southern Westchester BOCES, who's been working with our equity team. We have a committee that's made up of staff, parents, and students. They've been meeting over the past couple of years to work on an equity plan. Some of the representatives of the committee are here in the audience this evening, so thank you all for joining us. And I'd like to turn the podium over to Dr. Mary Beth Wilson, who's going to summarize the work so far.
I can just advance with the slide advancer or with the keyboard. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's such a great occasion to be here this evening and have a chance to share with you our work and to be part of the celebration. So much to celebrate here this evening. Before I start, I do want to extend my most heartfelt thanks for the opportunity to work here in this district with the team that I've had the opportunity to work with. And our committee members are people from Mahopac. They're people who care about all kids in Mahopac as much as they care about their own children. For folks who maybe don't have children in our schools right now, they certainly care about the future of Mahopac and about what's going on in our schools. So without further delay, my presentation to you this evening will be an overview as to what the work has been to date and a little bit of insight into what's happening next. So here we present the Mahopac Equity and Access Plan update from the fall 2023. And I invite you to take a look at those little faces because that's what we're here for, and we're here about kids. So just a couple of things. My quick agenda. This looks like a lot, but I promise I'll stay to time. Talking a little bit about the committee, and the committee is known as the Vision 22X Committee. We have some ideas about how we might want to rename the committee that is more reflective of the work, but if you hear me refer to the name of the committee, that's what it is. I'm going to be speaking specifically this evening about the work that directly relates to the New York State Education Department's culturally responsive and sustaining education framework. That framework is divided into 4 key areas. The work of the committee has focused on 2 of those areas, one significantly, which is Principle 1, welcoming and affirming environment, and the second would be professional learning, which we'll be talking about as well. As a result of our work, as it relates to Principle 1, we, as a committee, have identified 4 key priorities. Those priorities are further fleshed out, if you will, with statements explaining what they are about, and they are supported with goals for each of those. I will speak to those this evening as well as give a little bit of a glimpse into the future work. So I'd like to start with our committee charge. And this is the committee charge. I'm going to read through this quickly, although I think we're at a font size that folks can see this. So the Mahopac 22X Committee exists to advise and make recommendations to the superintendent on the design, development, and implementation of the district's equity and access plan. So that's our charge. So why did we exist? Why were we together? Why are we working? This is what it's about. So happy to be joined in our work by Superintendent Tona, and here we see a recognizable photo of Superintendent Tona, as well as the reminder to our committee that it's not just about the color of skin or language spoken. It is about making sure that every student has access, regardless of where they are on the educational spectrum or what challenges they may face in their education to be successful. Just kind of giving you a little bit of a background and what was propelling us forward in this work. So I did mention briefly in the agenda slide the New York State Culturally Responsive and Sustaining Education Framework. This framework has been around for several years. It's quite helpful in providing guidance, in providing the kinds of experiences that we want our young folks to have, as well as the adults who have the opportunity to work with them each and every day. The Culturally Responsive and Sustaining Education Framework is the center of our work, and we are guided by it at the Center for Professional Learning and Curriculum Support, where I serve as the Senior Director at Southern Westchester BOCES. Just quickly, these are the 4 pillars of the Culturally Responsive and Sustaining Education Framework. New York State wishes for us, all schools across the state, to focus on the 4 areas that you see depicted there with some images that correspond. We focused, this evening I'll be focusing primarily on the upper left corner, welcoming and affirming environment. I will make mention to the lower right corner, which is about ongoing professional learning. 2 other key principles that this team will be working on throughout the remainder of the year include high expectations and rigorous instruction and inclusive curriculum and assessment. What you see to the right on this slide is just the top sheet of the Culturally Responsive and Sustaining Education Framework. For more information about the framework, you can easily Google the framework, which you can just type NYSED, Culturally Responsive and Sustaining Education Framework. It's a really comprehensive guide that has outlined within the roles of all members in the community as to how we can support this work. Lastly, on this slide, in the upper right corner, you see that vase-like reference. That means that this slide is an artifact slide that was actually utilized with our team, and you'll see a few of those visual references throughout my presentation this evening. Again, being mindful of why we're here, and I have a real need to insert the images of children in all the work that I do because all of the work is about our kids. Some pre-work. So as our committee came together, we needed to do a little bit of work. The Culturally Responsive and Sustaining Education Framework is largely known by the educators and the professionals within a pre-K through 12 situation, or school or district, and perhaps not as well known by other of our committee members. We took some time to walk through that, understand the state's position on that, and to take that document apart. We had a variety of experiences where we could talk through things, ask questions to understand better. Our team, our committee, also identified their hopes and their fears for this work, which gave me some insight as someone who was facilitating the group as to how to focus our work forward. Just quickly, again, this is an artifact slide, and I'm really truncating our work rather quickly for this evening, but a question that we asked the group was, what are our priorities for Principal 1? Now that folks have had a deep understanding and had a chance to really understand and talk about this, what are our priorities here at Mahopac as they relate to welcoming and affirming environments? And there were no limits to this. Folks could surface their priorities. What is important to you? What are you hearing? What are you experiencing as a community member? What are you hearing from your kids, from other folks? All things could be surfaced. From there, we went into a prioritizing protocol, right? So we have this massive amount of information. Now, what do we do with it? We have to prioritize within that. And we had opportunity within the group to have people vote on various aspects, recombine, look at again, resort, et cetera, what those priorities are. And I'm going to share those with you this evening. These are the 4 priorities that emerge from our committee's work as they relate to Principle 1 of the framework. Climate, culture, and community, student mental health and wellness, student voice, and professional learning. Now, something that's important for me to share with you this evening about professional learning is that that's going to be captured in all of the principles as they relate to the framework. And as you noticed from an earlier slide, there was that space for professional learning. So we're developing the professional learning as we attend to the other of our principles. So these are them. These are the priorities, and they're fleshed out. I'm going to take each one apart. So don't worry about reading the slide. Don't worry that I'm going to read every word to you on this slide. But I will take you through these so that when you leave here this evening, you have a good sense of what our work has been about. Priority 1, climate, culture, and community. This is about creating climate, culture, and community. This is what our committee has to say. How we interact with one another to celebrate, respect, and value our similarities and differences in all spaces defines who we are as a community. We will create, curate, and live inclusive practices across Mayapac's K-12 schools, classrooms, offices, boardroom, curriculum, instruction, and assessment. So just a little bit of support in and around that larger idea. We see 3 goals that the committee has generated underneath this priority area. Goal 1, envision, clarify, and communicate what a welcoming and affirming environment looks like and feels like here at Mayapac. Nurture district climate, culture, and community where people of different backgrounds, life experiences, perspectives, beliefs, and abilities feel welcome, affirmed, and safe to unify our community. Work to improve the recruitment and retention of a diverse teacher workforce. For example, teachers who identify as people of color, LGBTQIA+, or differently abled. What I will pause here for a moment to say is that underneath this is an action plan that we are currently working on as to, okay, how does this happen, right? So we have these priorities, these are the goals, what's going to happen next? Our work right in front of us as a committee is working on the action plan as it supports each of the priorities. This is just an artifact slide, just excerpts and just a sample of the kinds of things that were surfaced throughout our committee meetings. That music is wonderful. I didn't know I was going to have an accompaniment this evening. Priority 2, student mental health and wellness. Supporting student mental health and wellness. Mental health and proactive wellness strategies promote optimal engagement in academic, social, and emotional learning. We prioritize mental health and well-being by promoting resilience for all students through skill development, connectedness, and healing-centered environments. 3 goals again appear underneath this priority, and they include enhanced connectedness among students, staff, and families, promote social emotional learning, also known as SEL, across all grade levels, create an environment that fosters resilience. Again, an artifact slide, just some highlights that have moved forward. Priority 3, student voice, amplifying student voice. Each of us, regardless of age, culture, socioeconomic status, or other quantifiers, has something to contribute and share. We know that students have unique perspectives that adults can only approximate. We want students to know and understand that they have a voice and are encouraged to express themselves. Their voices are heard and reflected in school and district decision-making. They are empowered to use their voices to be agents of social change, and they are willing and careful listeners to others' voices. Goals that support this priority include creating a flexible framework for students to access multiple opportunities to contribute their voice across platforms. Recruit, encourage, and support student participation in school and district decision-making committees/activities. Ensure student voices represent all students, including those most often underrepresented and historically unheard. I think I saw a typo in there. Apologies. Again, an artifact slide. I think you see that the kids are getting older as we progress through these images this evening. We want to include our representation of kids across ages. Lastly, professional learning. Engaging professional learning for all faculty, administrators, staff, and Board of Education. As lifelong learners, we understand and value the need for ongoing learning for all adults in our community. We will provide high-quality core and role-specific professional learning for all BOE members, district leaders, school leaders, faculty, and staff that focuses on culturally responsive pedagogy and inclusive practices that welcome, affirm, and support the identities and experiences of all adults and students. This is further supported in the goals below, creating multiple inclusive and differentiated entry points for ongoing professional learning focused on the New York State Education Department's culturally responsive and sustaining education framework, specifically Principle 1, welcoming and affirming environments. Provide professional learning to support implementation of each of the aforementioned priorities. These include climate, culture, and community, student mental health and wellness, and student voice. Lastly, in looking ahead, our action planning, this just happens to be a tool that we're going to be using. So preview for those folks that are here from our committee that will be looking at some action planning and identifying who are the groups that we're working with within and across our schools. What's the communication that needs to be had? How do we build capacity in and around the work, as well as share the knowledge and increase our engagement across our schools? And that is my last slide for this evening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wilson.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Wilson, and thank you to the committee members that are here this evening. This presentation is just a summary of the work that they've been undertaking over the past couple of years, and we really appreciate Dr. Wilson's efforts in supporting us on this journey. It's a very important one, so thank you, Dr. Wilson.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. LaRocca, do we have any comments on agenda items? I will turn it back to Superintendent Tona for her superintendent's report.
Thank you. So when we opened the meeting, we did say that there was a lot to celebrate this evening. So a couple of items on the agenda this evening. First, Steve Troost, who is here with us in the audience. Once the board votes on the consent agenda, he will be appointed as Assistant Supervisor for Transportation. Well deserved. Congrats, Steve. And it's a testament to you,
Stand up, Steve.
all of your colleagues that are here. Also on the agenda this evening is the appointment of Jeff Cole as our Director of Special Education. Give a wave, Jeff. So Jeff is currently our Assistant Director for Special Education, and he's doing a wonderful job, and it was time to appoint a permanent director, and Jeff's experiences and his knowledge is certainly wonderful to have with us. We're very impressed with all that Jeff's accomplished so far, and there are a lot of people here in the audience that also know Jeff, and I think they're very supportive of this appointment. So congratulations, Jeff, in a few moments once the board votes on the consent agenda. And I'd like to take a moment to thank Karen Gatto. She's not here this evening, but she has served for the past 18 months as our interim director of special education. So Karen started when I started, and our special education department, administrative-wise, was broken. And we lost a lot of people, and we needed to come together and come up with a plan to keep the special education department running and move ahead with initiatives that would assist the students to be as successful as possible. So thank you to Karen Gatto. She'll be with us through January 13th, and we do wish her well. So thanks again. So this past weekend, many of us were entertained, and I was there Saturday evening, by our student musicians for their outstanding performance at Illusion. Last year was my first Illusion concert, and I was blown away with the talent on that stage, and this year was no exception. The students really are terrific, and it's wonderful to see how they come together and really perform, put on an outstanding concert. And I would like to thank Mr. Przmilski, who's back recording, for all of his work and efforts in putting together such a fantastic performance with Illusion. Thank you. So, and as you heard tonight, our equity work will focus on creating a welcoming and affirming environment. That'll be the first priority. So this presentation was planned several months ago, but tonight it's very timely after the unfortunate discriminatory incident that occurred recently at the middle school. So Mr. Kozakria is working with his staff to provide discussions with the students regarding respect for all people, religions, and cultures. Some of that work is starting this week. He has also reached out to Rabbi Sarah Friedson from Temple Beth Shalom, and she will be joining a committee at the building in January. And he has also reached out to the Anti-Defamation League in the hopes of bringing the No Place for Hate program to the middle school. Focusing on our equity plan, specifically the pillar of creating a welcoming and affirming environment, will provide our entire district with a roadmap for increasing our efforts for kindness and respect for all people. And to sum up, I'd like to wish everyone in the Mahopac community the happiest of holidays. Those that celebrated Hanukkah just ended recently. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, and a happy and healthy New Year to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Tona. We're going to go on to our committee reports. We'll start with ad hoc. Trustee McCracken. Ad hoc advocacy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everybody. The Ad Hoc Advocacy Committee met on Tuesday, November 28th at 7 p.m. at the Mahopac Falls School PD room. Present was myself, Trustee Dave Fafaro, Trustee Michael Martin, and the community members duly appointed to the committee, as well as Superintendent Christine Tona and Vice President Fernando Martinez. Discussed in the meeting, the first meeting is traditionally, we don't take too much action. We just kind of gauge what the issues of this year is going to be going into next year, because the main priority and the biggest thing that we can impact as a community is the state legislative session that begins in Albany in January. It's when all of the state senators and state assembly members meet to start voting on legislation, including the state budget, which really impacts our district, which is something we always want to be spearheading. And as well, the governor sets her agenda as well as proposes the first draft of the budget. So we were just gauging with the community members what issues that were important to parents and residents. So we created a list of issues, and now from that point on, we use what community members care about and also submissions to the advocacy suggestion box to build our agenda. And once the agendas are built, we take certain issues and we draft resources to help us advocate for stuff that will help the Mahopac Central School District. So speaking of the advocacy suggestion box, it was approved in this meeting to continue that for another year. Our superintendent has been putting it in the district newsletters, but if you go to our website under subcommittees, advocacy, it's a big giant red box. You can't miss it. It's just a gigantic thing. You click it and you could submit, even if you're not on the committee, what issues impacting school districts, New York, federal, county laws, anything that's impacting our district politically that you want us to get involved in, you just submit it and it goes right onto our agenda for us to review. I'm trying to see if we had we didn't take any other formal action, but it was a robust discussion, and we plan to probably have another meeting in January. We like to be kind of dynamic with the dates because certain issues come up, and we're also still trying to gauge what date and time works best for every member of the committee. But for now, I think that is everything, and we adjourned at 8:30 p.m., so an hour-and-a-half meeting, very productive. I yield back.
Thank you, Ted. Finance, we have Trustee Musafra.
Good evening, everyone. The Finance Committee met on December the 12th at 7:30 p.m. In attendance was myself, Trustee Jonathan Schneider by phone, Trustee Ben DeLulo, Trustee VP Fernando Martinez, Assistant Superintendent Alyssa Murray, Superintendent Christine Tona. Some of the things that we discussed was the risk assessment correction plan, where recommendations will be implemented by June 2024. We also discussed a budget transfer policy, more to come. We're going to be revisiting in February and then hopefully have something in place by May. We reviewed the committee calendar for this coming year for the budget. We have all the financial reports which are available on board docs for everyone's review. We also reviewed the BOCES contracts, the COSERs, which they're called. More to come on that. We are going to be going over them line by line. We also have a long-range financial plan that we're working on, and that is currently with an outside consultant, and we will be having more information as the months come. We also briefly discussed the veteran exemption. More information is needed by the town, which we hope we will have by January. And our next meeting is going to be January 9th or so. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Trustee Musafir. Did we have policy with Trustee Mongan?
Thank you, President Savino. Thank you, President Savino. The Policy Committee met on December 5th, 2023. Members present were myself, Vice President Fernando Martinez, Superintendent Christine Tona, our attorney Tan Pettigrew, District Clerk Melody LaRocca. Policy Committee is the way that the board governs, right? It's governs through policy, and tonight on our agenda we have 6 policies that are that will hopefully be approved for this evening. One of the things that we discussed at the most recent meeting, we have a workplace violence prevention policy that we discussed at length. We have a school safety plan and emergency plan. We have an unsafe school transfer choice. This is required policy allowing students to transfer to another school in the district if students become a victim of crime. Again, there's another policy, 8140 for emergency school closings, and we have a change now because we're going to the card swipes. So now we have a policy 8211, access to the buildings. So we're building a nice and creating a nice policy for that as well. The meeting began promptly at 5 o'clock and ended promptly at 6 o'clock. And that is my report for this evening. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. So we're moving on to the consent agenda for tonight.
Donation.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda? I have a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Oh, yes, I did miss number 5. My apologies. So I'm going to turn it over to Trustee Tulo to read a donation.
Sure. Okay, so this is resolved upon recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools. The Board of Education of Mahopac Central School District accepts a donation from Staples Connect of 552 donation boxes containing school supplies and with a value of $2,760 to benefit the students of Lakeview Elementary School during the 2023-2024 school year. Do we need to approve it, Anna? Do we need to approve it, or? Can I ask for a motion to approve?
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Donations are always fantastic, so thank you.
And thank you to Staples.
All the excitement with the jazz band playing and our athletic honors and our length of service presentation throws the game off a little bit. Such exciting news on our agenda for tonight. 2 additional members of our team. Our new director of special education, Mr. Cole, been since before he actually started making waves and great strides in our special ed department. And Steve Troost, who's been here a long time, for anybody that hasn't reached out to transportation, answers the phone a lot and gets things done at transportation with the rest of our fantastic transportation staff. So congratulations to both of you. Now it's official. Welcome and good luck to you both. Ms. LaRocca, do we have public comments for tonight?
Yes, I have Sean McDermott.
Okay, we do ask all speakers to adhere to policy 1512 in the following fashion. Maintain public decorum appropriate for a school. Address the president of the board. Conduct yourself in a civil manner. Obscene language, libelous statements, threats of violence, Statements advocating racial, religious, or other forms of prejudice will not be tolerated. Comments and questions should be made in a respectful manner, and the board president will cut off comments deemed to be derogatory, inflammatory, inappropriate, or out of order. Personal attacks or criticism of any person connected to the district will not be permitted. So with that, Mr. McDermott, welcome.
Well, that'll be easy. I'm just here to say thank you. Really appreciate the school board voting to support our veterans here locally in the community. So I appreciate that. We lost 12 people based on the numbers that I saw from your most recent thing, 12 people, and I knew 3 of them. Just went to Ed Brady's wake 2 days ago. So I know the board is concerned about seniors, and we should be. We need to keep seniors, things affordable in this town. Things are getting more expensive, not less expensive. So you can support seniors and you can support veterans simultaneously, and you're doing that, and I appreciate it. So I thank you, and we lost Rich Dunn, Chief, and Jimmy Choo Choo Jocelyn, both members of our color guard at our VFW. So I appreciate everything you're doing for the veterans.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and members of the board. I'm going to piggyback off what Sean said. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for your support. I know last year we came here and we were involved in a lot of conversations of passing the tax exemption for the veterans, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys for doing so. I'm here today because I had some questions surrounding some comments Trustee Martin had made at your November 16th work session. I'm really concerned of some misinformation that he might had passed along to members of the community. He said a comment that really stuck with me and pretty much alluded to the fact that veterans didn't deserve the tax exemption. He went on record saying that we lived in million-dollar homes, and quite frankly, I took that very personally because I'm a young member. I'm only 31 years old. I'm raising a family in this community. I can tell you right now, I do not live in a million-dollar home. So I would really like to find out where Trustee Martin is getting this information from, and it opens up a bigger can of worms. What else is he assuming, and what else is he voting on with proper knowledge? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. No one else? Baraka? Okay. So, we have come to the conclusion of our meeting for tonight. On behalf of the board, I would like to wish everyone a happy and healthy holiday season and a best wishes for a healthy and happy new year. Can I get a motion to close the meeting, please? Second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone, and good night.